Hello everyone, my name is PixlRiffs. Welcome to a Sunday. Not just a Sunday stream, my friends, but a Sunday. Welcome to the entire day of Sunday. Hope you're all having a good one out there. Hope your weekend has been stellar so far. Let's get to it, shall we? Let's do a thing. Let's stream some Minecraft. Hello Fry, hello Dragonscalin. Brief hello and goodbye to Archgirl Daisy as she's off to church. Hello Panda Flyger. Hello, Surprise Tulpa. Great to see you guys. Hope you're all having a good one. So today, I don't know if you guys have been keeping track of the YouTubes, but I released a video in which I built a thing, which you guys are going to see. So spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen that video already, but this right here is a build I've been working on. This is kind of going to be the, I guess, the factory or kind of warehouse build for this area. It might even end up containing some of my storage, but a lot of my storage is currently down here in a hole, and I like it down there. That's probably going to be where it stays for the foreseeable future. Instead, this thing is going to be a series of farms, starting with a cactus farm, probably. The squid farm obviously has to be out in the river biome that we worked on the last stream, and this is going to be kind of maybe crop farms, maybe various other things. Already the abuse starts in the chat. not in the stream chat, but in the in-game chat. KB is making a mockery of my stream, making a mockery of my webcam positioning. I tell you what, how about I put the webcam somewhere completely different? That'll show him. But no, I like the webcam where it is. I think it's going to stay there, because otherwise I have to rotate it and then I look weird. What's up, folks? Nonolini, Tom, Free Phase, Epic Blue, Window, great to see you guys as well. Glad you guys like the build so far, and KP is just going to find a way to mock me regardless. It happens on this server. It's no big deal. Thank you, by the way, Dragonscale, for the 10 bits. Starting the stream off good. I appreciate that immensely. So, did I make a Thanos joke in the Week 2 recap? Yeah, I think so, didn't we? I'm pretty sure there was something like that. And the convex seem to have taken that to heart, from what I understand. But then Infinity War, people are going to make references to it anyway. You know, like there's going to be a lot of that, I imagine, in the days to come. Stay puffed. Hello, welcome along. KV with the 11 guilt bits. I'm fine with guilt bits. I'll take your shame money. I'm all about that. Thank you for the bits, man. I really appreciate it. So today we're going to go and grab some more clay, because I will need a ton of bricks. Like, this is just the facade, and that's not even all the facade of the build, because I needed to have some pillars up there with more windows in and stuff. We need to do the sides as well. Like, we can't just have this giant wall standing here for the rest of the season. We got things to do. Guilt bitty hype. So, yeah, I have like 4 stacks of bricks so far. I'm pretty sure 4 stacks and change went into this so far. Like, I think each side of this is probably about 2 stacks worth of bricks, not including like the stairs and stuff that went into it as well. So we are going to have to go and grab some more stuff. So I figured this could be a bit of a resource gathering stream. We could chill and chat. We can shoot the breeze. It's all going to be good. Yeah, every time like an even number of bricks comes in here, I start converting them, because I just want to keep this stuff flowing and keep track of how much stuff I've got. Dragon scale in with the polar bear in a boat. Yes, this is Umberto. We did name him in the last video. If you guys haven't caught up with that, he is he's basically the town planner now. It kind of worked out that way. Minecraft God Plan, happy birthday. Hope you're having a good one. So, yeah, we're going to go to a swamp, and we're going to go and mine up some more clay. And everybody on the server is now probably going to try and get there first. Everyone's like, no clay is safe. Boop. Lily pads. Put it down. There we go. Got some birthday hype. So, yes, does this server use Hermit Data Pack? It's using some of them, not all of them. I think there were a few we left out for various reasons. We had a problem with the one-player sleeping pack as well. But I think we also left out gems, because without the villager trading thing, gems are kind of useless. But we've got like mob heads and stuff like that. I got a phantom head in my most recent video. So yeah, it's all working pretty well, aside from the one-player sleeping thing. We just reverted that to the one-player sleep data pack we had before, and it sort of works. Where did I get the Optifine Alpha? I'm actually not using it right now. I probably should relog just with Optifine on. But yeah, it's in. If you go to the download section of the site, there is a link at the top of that page that will get you to preview versions. And yeah, that's where you can download the alpha build of Optifine. Be aware that it has started kind of causing some crashes for people, and it's still very much in development. So if you're at all concerned about that, probably best to wait until the full version is released, just in time for Minecraft to drop 1.13.1, declaring Optifine kind of obsolete for another version. But hopefully it shouldn't be too hard for them to update it again after that. Phantom heads do look very cool. You're correct. Yeah, I was really happy I got that one. I only had to fight like 2 phantoms and I got it, and then I killed a few more just for the membrane and whatnot. But yeah, it's really cool having mob heads. I'm looking forward to this. I really am. So let me quickly open up the soundtrack for today, which as always is going to be Minecraft Volumes Alpha and Beta. There's new music in the game as well, so I must look into how we can acquire that if there's a Bandcamp entry for it, if it's like a Minecraft EP or something now. Gems are beautiful on their own, yeah, but I feel like a lot of the point of them is to have the kind of custom trade thing in, and ultimately if we just want to spawn in some custom player heads, we can. Gems were just kind of added to the loot for Hermitcraft. I don't think it's necessarily like a super necessary feature. And we kind of wanted to keep things a little bit light and not just do exactly what the Hermits did as well, because... Is my field of view really... No, okay, it's not. I think it's just because I'm underwater. There's like a slight change in field of view when you're underwater. But yeah, we didn't want to have the server just be like a carbon copy of Hermitcraft as far as like the data packs and stuff went. A lot of the stuff they're doing makes sense, but it makes sense for them specifically and for the economy they want to have on the server and stuff. And so we're trying to not just copy absolutely everything they do. Shunji by C418 is awesome. I've not heard that one. Like, I haven't looked into a lot of the music he's done aside from the stuff he does for Minecraft, and that's probably a mistake on my part, because guy makes some good music, right? Hey, Zarand, what's up? And Tiskin, good to see you as well. I've no idea what the outrageous thing is supposed to mean. Is that some kind of, like, reference to something? I don't get it. I'm sorry, guys, I'm slow. Please forgive me. The tagline from a cartoon called Gem and the Holograms in the 80s. Well, it's probably a good reason I don't know that, then. If it's not a reference to Funhouse, you don't know it. Now, what is Funhouse to you? Because Funhouse to me is a weird game show that was presented by Pat Sharp. Punk kids. Anytime I think about Gem things, like all the Steven Universe references basically come to mind. So, yeah, I have a completely different frame of reference for gems as characters. Why were they outrageous in this cartoon, then? Oh, get all the clay balls. I've come away with, like, an odd number of, like, clay so often. It's really annoying. I just keep, like, leaving one ball behind, and then I have to make a flower pot instead of a block of bricks. Zloy, you just took a keen interest in cartoons beyond a certain age, whereas I kind of gave up on cartoons for a little bit and have only started watching them again recently. Oh, just because it was the 80s? That's the reason for the outrageous thing. So it's outrageous in a good way rather than just like, you know, they were scandalous. And literally nothing about the cartoon was outrageous, it was just the tagline. Fair enough. There we go. This is the swamp I've been mining out for clay so far. Thank you for the 2 bits. You're going to go to Disneyland? Oh, a birthday at Disneyland sounds incredible. Hope you have a good one. You okay? You all right? Okay, no worries. No, it's okay. Just wanted to make sure you weren't, you know, joking or anything. It was outrageous. Lights, the action, the music. All these outrageous cartoons teaching these kids. What are they teaching these kids? Having them glued to the television screen. Wish there was a way to get large amounts of clay or revert hardened clay. Yeah, it would be kind of useful, but I've always thought like a clay golem would be a good thing, and you could have a way of spawning it naturally, and then it would just be more easily farmable. But then I feel like Mojang is going for things that encourage players to explore a lot of the time, and having it just like farmable in a certain area feels kind of, I don't know. Maybe it's not what they want. Same with quartz, really. Like having a couple of new mobs in the game that dropped quartz and made quartz like a renewable and farmable resource. Just finding a way of gating it behind certain aspects of gameplay so that it's not too cheaty. Would be the way to balance it, really. I'm trying not to absolutely wreck the terrain in the swamp. I don't know if anyone's actually going to do anything here, but I doubt it because it's quite far out, but I think I even saw the Gummy Bears cartoon at some point. And instantly my wife starts singing the theme song. I feel like there are a few like shows, like Reading Rainbow is one, where you just mention the show and everyone immediately starts singing the theme tune. I think Gummy Bears is another. DuckTales is probably a third. There were just a lot of very good cartoon themes at a certain point, and even bad cartoon themes that were just catchy enough to be right. Enjoyed the first episode of the Spawn Chunks. Thank you so much. Hype for episode 2. When is that coming? We're going to be recording it tomorrow, and then the show will probably release weekly on, like, Wednesdays, I think, is probably going to be the plan. We planned to release it on Wednesday this week, but we were still finalizing the show art and getting the Patreon page set up and everything. So, yeah, that all took a little while, but now the setup is done. It'll be plain sailing. We should be able to just churn them out on a weekly basis. That's the plan. Gummy Bears was one of the most amazing product placements because it didn't work in the slightest. Yeah, I don't really see that show really selling a lot of gummy bears beyond just what gummy bears would already sell. I mean, the gummy bears were characters. It wasn't like you could advertise the fact that you just want to eat them. That's not how it works. Really glad to hear you guys enjoyed the podcast. We spent a little bit of time talking about doing a Minecraft-themed show, like, basically after my first appearance on the Citadel Cafe. And now I've been back a couple of times, and me and Joel have got to know each other pretty well. It's also just kind of the right time to do it. With 1.13 coming in and everything, the time seemed right. Get some of that Minecraft hype on board. So, yeah, really glad you guys are into that. I'm looking forward to doing more. Does Power Rangers count as product placement? I feel like a lot of shows were just there to sell toys. Like Transformers was one of them. There were so many just like really obviously product. I mean, and basically anything is there to sell merchandise, including a lot of anime. Like it's funny how many anime series are just like, this is basically here to sell more copies of the manga. Either because people want to read ahead and find out what's up, or just because they like the show enough that they're like, hey, let me buy the book of this so I know what's going to happen. Teen Titans, such a great show, no merch sales, so it got cancelled. Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. They make all their money out of merch sales. Because that's the sort of direct revenue source. As YouTube has proven, the only you don't get a whole lot of money from advertising after a while. All right, almost a full inventory of clay. Still plenty left to gather here in the swamp, though, so I think we should be fine. Like, this build is not gonna be like a solid brick block on the inside, so hopefully we shouldn't need too much more. I reckon another trip will be fine, and then we won't have to go and find another swamp. Fluppaguppy and RSM Brooks, thank you guys for the follows. Appreciate your faces. Animation is generally a pretty bad money investment. Yeah, it takes a lot more time, resources, effort, talent than, you know, things like scripted reality shows. I feel like film, when it comes to like Pixar stuff, when they're making one film every couple of years, it doesn't quite measure up to like the investment required to make a weekly hand-drawn cartoon. Like they're kind of different beasts. And Pixar had to have a lot of funding. A lot of that comes from parent companies and stuff. Sabasar, thank you for the follow. Yeah, exactly. Disney funding them kind of helps, you know? Maths B27, thank you for the follow as well. What was it I saw the other day? I can't remember. Oh, we were watching The Last Jedi. And this is completely unrelated to anything, but it's a vague kind of tangent from the Disney funding stuff. Do you guys know the reference 27B/6? If anybody has watched Brazil or like has read that one blog from that one guy who works in IT and is really annoyed, like 27B/6 is basically like a code for like, this is bureaucracy that people end up using in a lot of movies just as like a kind of passing reference. I think Brazil was the one that started it. Like, this guy basically stops these two workmen from coming into his house and roughing him up because he scares them off with bureaucracy. He says, you know, have you signed a 27B/6? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And that basically kind of scares them off. And, yeah, like in Last Jedi, when they're dragging Finn and Rose off on the casino planet, like, when they like tase them and kind of throw them in a cell, one of the people who's dragging them away, like the security guard, says something like, you're being arrested under code 27B/6. Like, and it's like a very vague kind of, it's in the background. You wouldn't notice it unless you had like subtitles on or something. Yesloy, weekly is the idea for the Spawn Chunks. We're probably going to record an episode every Monday, release it on Wednesdays, that kind of thing. The last episode went out a little bit later than planned, but that is the idea for the schedule going forward. But yeah, it's right when they're being dragged away on Canto Bight is the thing. I had a slightly different perspective on The Last Jedi the second time I watched it. I feel like all of the stuff with Luke Skywalker, despite the fact that it was controversial among fans, is actually the best part of that film. And even the Canto Bight stuff is actually not that bad on a rewatch because it basically gives you a bunch of character development for Rose. The stuff that I feel like is useless in that film is actually the stuff where the rebellion is just constantly running away from the Empire or the First Order, because like there is no point to that. It's just cut to them still being in peril. And they completely mess up certain aspects of Poe's character, about which we will be eternally annoyed. My wife is literally rolling her eyes off camera right now, so yeah.
Poe is the homeboy, and I will fight you over that.
You don't need to fight me.
No, not you. Anyone who challenges me and my moral authority.
Right, there will be a brief pause while I try and untangle this necklace, but for now, here's some clay smelting, which is the whole point of is the whole point of this stream anyway. So that's what you guys are here for. The spaghettification of this thing. It's a very, very fine chain. It's also right at the clasp too, which is...
It slipped forward as I was trying to untangle it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Hello.
Well, yeah, talk to the chat for me whilst I'm doing this, because I can't look at them and untangle a necklace at the same time.
I got a knot in the chain on my necklace, and Johnny is better at untangling these things than I am.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
This is really... I feel like the music box playing in the background is just somehow really, really strange. I love this song, though. Can you call it a song if it has no lyrics?
Yeah.
I guess. It's just one of those weird things where, like, calling it a song seems kind of strange if you can't, like, sing words to it.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, there's instrumental music. Like, well, what else would you call it?
I know, a track, a tune.
Nah, you can call it a song. Hello everybody.
I suppose it's only technically a track.
There's a
It's
solar probe launch earlier.
You're
No.
a solar probe launch. What?
I have not
Was
seen
there? The Parker solar probe launch? Oh, interesting. It's funny, my one of my uncles works in the space engineering industry and is called Parker. I don't think it's named after him, but
Yeah.
yeah. I think I've made this worse. This is really fiddly right now. I
I'm
feel
sorry,
like
do you want me to try and do it so you're not spending all of your time?
yeah, I feel like I'm messing this up because I'm rushing it because I'm trying to get back to the stream.
It's okay. I might try and go out with tweezers or something.
Okay,
It's okay.
do that.
We're gonna stream together later.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Yes. Stardew Valley in about an hour and a half, probably. There's a technical definition of song which includes things without words, but a lot of people don't count it. Yeah, I guess like an instrumental, but saying like, I really like this instrumental seems kind of strange. So, yeah, I get that you call it. The discussion is continuing in the chat. I'm just reading what they're saying. It's a melody, not a song. But a melody is just a single line of music. A melody is kind of like the main line of the music and feels like it excludes everything else. So I might need to get a picture of this up so that I can continue to build it at some point soon, because I think I've got everything else. I will address the zombie noises coming from my cow farm at a later date, probably on a video. You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
I used tweezers to pull out the
Oh, that works then. That was probably faster than I would have done it, so
Yeah, I should have heard that before I came over to you. Sorry.
that's all right.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Rob, hello, welcome along.
What you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I am currently clearing out some of these chests over here so that I can move them out of the way of this thing I'm building. But this is going to be...
Oh, it's that thing that you were working on.
Yeah, it's kind of like a factory/warehouse. It's going to have a bunch of resource farms and other material bits in it. And for now, I'm going to smelt up this iron and gold as well, because I need thems. I'm going to probably fortune these as well. I've got all of this lapis lazuli and redstone that I can break out.
Exciting.
Are we going to carry on the Stardew Valley farm we had in the beta version? Are we going to carry on the same Stardew Valley farm? Is that the idea? Rather than like start a new one?
Why would we start a new one?
Well, because it's a fresh update. I don't know. Like,
Well,
I-
does that impact the play in any way if
I-
we keep the beta?
I don't think so. I was, yeah, just clarifying what we were going to do.
I would assume you would do the same farm.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't want to have to play the first year of spring again. Like, I played that so many times.
Yeah, it's fair.
I
We're
want to keep going.
we're like halfway through fall right now, guys.
Yeah,
So,
we've put in a lot of work.
hey, Auntie Lammy, what's up? How did I convert some of the mycelium into grass? You get a grass block with silk touch, and you convert as much of the mycelium as you can into dirt, and then you let the grass spread. It's a continuous battle, basically, because you either have to silk touch like a ton of grass and then just kind of go around and replace it block for block, or you have to do it a section at a time and find ways to stop the mycelium from spreading back onto the dirt, because mycelium and grass will both spread over dirt.
So I saw someone earlier ask if it was Mrs. Pixel or Mrs. Riffs, and it's like, whatever. It's
Either.
Not, it's not my government name, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can call me whatever. You know, like, it's good.
Your government name.
That's what it's called. So yeah, I know who you mean.
Hey, Technical Augury, welcome along.
Okay, I'm gonna go and eat.
All right.
And prepare for the stream later.
Okay. Enjoy your food.
Can we close this?
Yeah. Good use of the strip logs. Strip logs are the best. Like, I'm finding myself using them in all sorts of places. It's kind of great. Red Sky Finn, hello, welcome to the stream. I'm going to throw the lapis blocks and stuff in here. May as well just keep them there. This is the only ender chest I currently possess, and I guess we'll put the redstone somewhere else. I'm going to put the emerald ore blocks in there, though. Call me what you want, just don't call me late for dinner. You're part of the Azuma raid. Well, thank you for showing up for a second stream. I really appreciate it. I know can strip bark blocks to get a smooth strip block. I found out about that like a day and a half ago, and I was thoroughly surprised. I did not realize that you could get a smooth block on all sides. The problem with the bark blocks for me is that like 2 of the faces are always going the way I want them, but the 3rd one never is. How do I have Zloy's head? He ended up pranking me with a bunch of zombies and skeletons that had his head. We have like a player head drop thing, so if you kill a player, then their head drops along with the rest of the stuff they're carrying. So yeah, he ended up basically bringing round a bunch of skeletons and zombies all with his head on, and so when I killed them, I got like 12 of his head, and so now I just have them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them other than decorate my skeleton spawner, but there you go. Sleep right-clicking is a thing I wrote this week. It is. Bark blocks are a bit wonky, but still nice for things. Yeah, is true. I also think it's kind of strange that you can convert regular tree blocks, like logs, into bark, but then you can't convert the stripped logs into the stripped wood that has like the strippy texture on all 6 sides. It's weird. Like there's weird inconsistencies like that I'm not entirely fond of. What do I need from here? A bit more food, just so we can keep track of that. I need to put this kelp away. The redstone, I think we were just going to throw in the storage area, right? I did find the moose zombies, yes. I plan to address those in the next DV video. I didn't make any comment about them in the video today, which I feel really bad about because, yeah, it had happened by that point. I hadn't recorded anything like at that point. Where is the redstone in this place? I need to get a better handle on where I'm storing stuff. Also, to finish off some of this area would be nice as well. I'm sure it was... Yeah, there we go. There's like a random assortment of stuff in this one. I'll just take some of this out. There, I have 12 of Zloy's head. See, this was originally meant to be like redstone stuff, but then I feel like at some point I just dumped everything I had in here. Zloy's head is a very important redstone component, though. NanoEk, thank you for the follow, or NanoEQ, whichever you prefer. What do I think about a beacon that blocks hostile mobs from spawning? I like the idea in principle. In reality, it's easily supplantable by just torching your area correctly. Like, it's one of those things that makes sense in theory, but then if you actually did it, then a lot of people would say it was useless. I'm wondering if we should switch to using kelp blocks as fuel at some point. A lot of people have told me to do that, and I'm always like, well, I'm using the kelp blocks to build stuff, but then kelp is such a good renewable resource, and there's so much of it that you may as well use it as fuel as well. Like a megatorch in modded. Yeah, a megatorch is just, like... It's easily obtainable, so it's not as hard as getting a beacon. And it's just like a lazy way of torching your area, so you don't have to have the torch grid everywhere. But then part of the challenge of Minecraft is balancing hostile mob activity with, like, an effective way of lighting your place. The polar bear in the boat is still around. He now has a name. He's going to be here forever. He's always looking over towards the ice biome, though. I feel like he's pining for the fjords. That's Umberto. Umberto. I feel like he needs his own theme song at some point. Right, I'm going to grab a slow falling potion, or 2. Maybe just 1 for now. And I'm going to throw in here everything that I'm not currently using. I will regret this later. And then I need to open my screenshots folder so I can look at exactly what the rest of this edifice looks like. There's this bug with the new version of Optifine, the preview version of Optifine, which obviously is going to have bugs, so that's kind of okay that it does. But whenever I log into Minecraft with Optifine, for the first time I log in, my point of view is always upside down. There's a button. If you just press F4 on its own, then you can flip your view like vertically, and yeah, I'm always upside down when I log in. It's like this must be what Dinnerbone sees all the time. It's pretty funny. I have no idea why it happens or if I can change it. I've looked around in the settings. There don't seem to be any settings that will change it at all. So yeah, that is one of the reasons I'm not currently using Optifine. You're supposed to hit Alt F4 for that to work. I know. The jokes kind of suggest themselves at this point. Let's grab some dirt so I can pillar up here. Has to be a dev troll. I don't know about that. I feel like they've been waiting so long for Optifine to come out. I feel like the devs are kind of keen to keep everybody's goodwill at this point. I don't know, though. They might be trolls. I don't know much about them. I'm just going to take as many bricks as I can up here, because this thing looks like it's going to need an awful lot of bricks. He says, next to a giant brick building already. Up to very fine. Oh, man. Y'all are making me miss B-dubs now. You missed the zoom key. I actually didn't use the zoom key for a little while. Like, when I had Optifine on before, I just forgot that it was a thing and didn't actually use it, which is very remiss of me, I know. So on this side it's that one, and I'm just gonna sacrifice one of my birch logs to build another crafting table and leave it up here, something we can use regularly. There, let's go there, and cobblestone walls is what we need. Probably make a few of those, actually. There we go, 18 will do. So we want one there. And I think that's probably that high. I'll be able to measure that later, though. And we need to fill in... Actually, let's take this with us. We need to fill in this bit. Dun, 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 dun. And yeah, I think this... I didn't bring the quartz stairs up with me, so we'll have to do that later. But I think there's at the top of this little section here, there's meant to be a quartz stair, like... I guess there? So this is meant to be higher than that. Because that's the same height as that, and that one goes there. Okay. Yeah, I think we've got that height right. I think that's okay. We'll find out. It's not a big deal right now. Hop down here. This is where I need to start using that slow falling potion. Paranoid. I like this was a typo, but I like the fact that you've written exists stage left. I don't know, that amuses me. It's an existentialist play. So this one here comes out like that, which looks weird right now, but is going to be better once we actually finish building this whole thing. And we just have a 2x2 window in here. Aren't all plays existential if they're good? It depends. think one-player thing should be a thing in vanilla multiplayer. You can sleep the night away in single player. Why would you not in multiplayer? Yeah, I feel like it's part of the balance of multiplayer, really. I don't know. Opinions vary on that kind of thing. But I feel like it makes sense. Like, everyone just does it in multiplayer anyway, so... Okay. It's the problem of having my laptop too close to my mouse. Push you back a little bit. There we go. Really? Hang on. That's two... Oh. That's me thinking we need to add another window to this. We really don't. That just needs to go like that and like that. Otherwise that was just going to get really tall. There we go. And I think that's one side done. Let me find out. Ah, drifting away. Yeah, that looks like the way I've got it in the image. Cool. Let's do that on the other side. McCanny, Burnt Chickeny. Welcome to you guys. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. What is pillaring up like if we have a slow fall potion on? Let's find out. I need to get a ladder up the back of this thing or something, don't I? You gotta start brewing Slowfall for Elytra. No, what you have to do is start brewing Slowfall to splash on people and then drop them into cobwebs. Because you move so slowly. Like, I would demonstrate for you guys on the stream, but then it would take about half an hour. Actually, it would take 4 minutes, because that's the maximum amount of time you can have slow falling for. But still, it's a very, very slow thing. Still not the slowest you can move in Minecraft. I think the slowest you can move in Minecraft is, like, over Soul Sand with a Turtle Master Potion whilst crouching and holding a bow or something like that. I think somebody actually did the calculations a while ago. Like a cobweb over Soul Sand. Stuff like that. Ah, drifting down. Mary Poppins, y'all. Looks a bit like Newton Abbot Library. That's not what I've based it on, but good. I'm glad it looks like Newton Abbot Library. My dad said to me on Twitter that it looks like a... did he say like a 19th century baths house or something like that? That's what it puts him in mind of anyway. Cobwebs and slow falling potion near an Elder Guardian. Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing is you can break cobwebs, so it's not got a huge amount of prank potential unless they also have mining fatigue, at which point I think it does just go over into like unnecessarily cruel. Not saying I won't do it at some point, just that it's unnecessarily cruel. Alright, so that side went a little bit faster, and I think that is basically everything I planned out in creative. That's the only thing that's in the screenshot I've taken anyway. There's kind of like a roof structure made out of slabs, but then the sides need to be made out of brick and stone brick, of which I have plenty, so that's good. They need to add a blindness potion. Do they not have one already? I know you can get a blindness effect from certain things. I still think they need levitation potions at some point. Like, having a shulker is all very well, but I feel like you could easily like turn a shulker shell into a potion of levitation or something like that, or have shulkers drop something else. I don't know what like prevents them from doing that. or for what reason they decided not to have a potion of levitation. I think maybe it was just going to be too unbalanced in PvP or something, but like, I don't know. I think the positive uses outweigh the negative uses. Invert slow fall for slow rise. I mean, that's what levitation is. It's not very fast. Having a faster levitation effect would be really good. Reminds you a bit of the Gotham Asylum. Again, not one I'm familiar with. But, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it so far. I think this is looking quite good. If you can have a potion, you can have a splash potion of Turtle Master. Can you have a lingering potion of Turtle Master and therefore arrows of Turtle Master? Because an arrow that gives you slowness 4 and resistance 3 would be kind of hilarious. Facade. I actually went back and watched that video. That's the first video on ZloyXP's English channel from the unofficial Hermitcraft fan server. And it was one of the first videos of his I watched when we were introduced to him by B-Ran, and he asked to join DV. And yeah, I was like, I like the way he says facade in this video. And somehow on that day, I knew that we were going to get on very well. PvP communities tend to self-balance. Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's not a community that I really know a whole lot about, so all I know is that they raised a massive stink over the combat changes in 1.9, and everyone ignored them. And as far as I'm concerned, everyone was right to do so. So yeah, let's take more screenshots of this build. I feel like we should also put some leaves on it. Probably not birch leaves though, especially considering we're in a mushroom biome and we've got the bright green stuff. I'm not really the biggest fan of using jungle leaves for stuff like this though, so let's top up here, shall we? Also going to close down the little preview window thing there and see if that stops me dropping frames every now and again. Yes, Makani, it looks like it is still loud enough to startle everybody, including me. Thank you so much for the slice of pie. I think I need to be slightly closer than this, don't I? Am I interested in being staff on your new server? Not really, but thanks for the offer. Too much other stuff to do, man. Can't be joining new servers at a time like this. There's work to be done. One there. I think that'll do. Just put some stuff in the corners. I love the green of the leaves next to brick. There's just something about that red-green kind of complementary color thing that really pops in a build like this. That's going to look super nice. Work to be done, mobs to grind, pranks to prank. Indeed. Indeed. Yeah, that'll do. Why am I using those to pillar? Not what I intended. Silk touch, silk touch, silk touch. Let's get the shears. Fetch my shears. Where's... I need the quartz stairs for later. The whole red and green should never be seen as rubbish. I mean, it depends on the red and the green. Like, if you're using something like leaves, then it looks natural, which makes sense. Whereas if you're just, like, putting bright red next to bright green in stripes or something, then, yeah, that's gonna visually drive people a bit mad, but... Where did I put this? I swear there was a chest over here that I put all my stuff in, and I can't find which one it was. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Quaruk, thank you for the 2 bits. Putting your 2 cents in, it looks good to you. Thank you very much. I think that might be a little heavy-handed with the leaves there. Maybe like so. Got to keep them looking organic and different, though. That's the idea. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. It's good, I like it. We'll maybe get some leaves like around the bottom here as well, but we'll deal with that later. I plan to do a little bit more terraforming on this island at a later date. Makani, glad you enjoyed the podcast. A few people have already weighed in on that and said they liked it as well, so it seems to have been pretty well received, which I'm very happy about. Yeah, I need to pillar up with the sand. Sand, a torch, and a slow falling potion is now all you need to do some high building. Wait, podcast? Yes, podcast. This might be because if you don't follow me on YouTube, then you wouldn't have heard of this. But I started a podcast with my good friend Joel Duggan, who produces the Citadel Cafe podcast and Comics Coast to Coast, among other things. And yeah, we started a podcast about Minecraft. And it is called The Spawn Chunks. If you go to SpawnChunk or thespawnchunks.com or patreon.com/thespawnchunks, you'll find it there. And it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun talking. Husky with a tier 1 sub. Thank you. Let's get some sub hype in the chat. See those hands raised for Husky, everyone? Oh good, more bricks. Was wondering when we'd get more of those. Let's grab that one as well. Yep, there we go. 16 more bricks. And we'll put the spare one in there. Yay for some hype. All right, I need to go into creative for a second to get a couple more pictures of what I did with the side of this, because thinking about it in creative is a lot easier than thinking about it in survival. Repledging soon on Patreon. Cool, man. We just reset the server like a week ago. Basically this time last week. Added the Hermitcraft data packs this week. So everything is looking pretty great on there right now. Here we go. So that's basically like cloned the side of that around here, but then just some slightly different window designs on the sides. And I don't think it's going to be all that deep. I think it's going to be probably twice that. But if I have it be completely square like this, then it's going to be a problem because the island just doesn't have enough space for like a building that's, I don't know, what is that? I never really measured this. I'd say that's probably like 20, 24 blocks long, give or take, because that's 8 there. So I'd say, yeah, 24. It's not going to be a 24 by 24 footprint. Maybe like a 24 by 16, 20 at the outside. But yeah, did we get a screenshot? We did, okay. Let me get one from the top here as well so I can see whatever I've done here. Yeah, and the roof currently looks like this. It's pretty low-key. Like, you can't see a whole bunch of it from down here. You got a villager design you'd love someone checking out. Would I be open to it? Depends. I don't know. I'm not the most technically minded person, so when it comes to like showcasing designs and stuff, if it's not something I've designed myself, a lot of the time I get kind of like spacey about it. I'm like, I don't know how this works. So yeah, I mean, maybe we should talk about that after the stream when I'm not concentrating on building this. But yeah, get in touch on Twitter if you like, because that's where you. I'm pretty sure you follow me on Twitter, right? Yeah, screenshot from up here. That's where the stripped wood comes back in as well. You get that way looking at other people's coding. Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of the time I just get kind of clueless about certain things. Yeah, but tweet me about it and we'll talk more about it after the stream. Thanks, Trism. I'm working on it. It's getting there. Yeah. So trapdoors behind this window or no? Because it kind of reduces the amount of light that's coming through from the other side, and it kind of makes it look like, you know how in old kind of abandoned buildings and stuff where the windows are kind of like, they're just old and like layers of dust, and kind of sometimes they're even sort of tinted a little bit and the tint has started to scrape off and stuff. I'm thinking like that, where it's kind of, you can't exactly see straight through the window to what's going on the inside. Looks like closed shutters. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. I also found out a while ago that because glass panes, when they're like this, they don't connect to the trapdoors, you can actually put paintings on them like that. And then even if the glass is completely sealed up like that, it won't pop the painting off because technically it's not being obstructed by anything. So, yeah, you could have like full paintings, like the 4x4 paintings behind those windows if you wanted to. But I don't think you would want to, really, because, yeah, those are the only 4x4 paintings, and that just looks kind of weird. But then you can do some fun stuff with trapdoors like that. You can have a bunch of trapdoors and then just kind of spam the paintings in different orientations like that. Obviously, right now the paintings will fill up any space they can, so you kind of have to finagle it a bit to get things in the right orientations. But it's a neat little effect you can create. I find that making walls like that and kind of decorating them with trapdoors and paintings is usually a fun way of making a very, like, almost like a teenager's bedroom style wall where there's like posters everywhere and stuff. Just have the skeleton painting in every window, just so the building's full of skeletons. They're the workforce. That's the idea. Yeah, okay, so we got some screenshots there, so that's really all we need. Oh, thank you very much, Husky. Yeah, the thing about Patreon now is that it takes the first pledge up front, so we can actually add you to the server today. I will try my best to remember to do that after the stream is over. All right, let me quickly open that screenshot, so bear with me a second here. Sorry about the Windows sounds. There we go. If we just use a straight-on screenshot, because it's going to be kind of small here. Okay, that should be enough to go on. Have I had phantoms yet? Oh yeah, I've got a phantom head now. I've been gathering a lot of phantom membrane. On DV, at least. Yeah, on the patron server, I haven't dealt with any phantoms myself, but I'm sure other people have, because people have been doing the usual thing, you know, AFK fishing and whatnot. Yes, apologies to Windows users. scrambling to figure out what is happening on their PC. Oh, Wooga hopped online. Hey, man. Let's do sand and pillar up here for a second. Put that down like there. This will be a nice easy pillar to take out. I should do this more often. Like, I always use dirt to pillar and then I have to get rid of it when I inevitably jump off the thing a different way. Got one hit by phantoms. They're deadly, man. Like, they do a lot of damage. Nice. Casual bit of damage taken there. Not a problem. No pressure. And pillar up with slime. Slime is easy to remove. You can't do it from the bottom up the way you can with quartz, but it's definitely like it's an option. Oh, you can't see the game. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I've got the preview thing closed on OBS, that's why. I can't... I forgot I changed the instance over. There we go. You can get one hit by them if you've lost a few hearts. If you're, like, running away. Take some full damage. Either that or they knock you off a ladder or something. Yeah, I think the other mobs from Minecon Earth they all had a lot of potential, and it's kind of a shame that they said no, the other two are going to disappear forever. To be honest, I think they were hoping people were going to choose the ocean one because they hadn't announced any of the aquatic update stuff, and oceans just needed more content, and so it was going to go along with the whole theme of the update. I feel like they were kind of surprised when everybody picked Mob B in that whole vote, but hey, we got phantoms, and phantoms are kind of fun. If potentially dying every night is your kind of fun, anyway. Is there anything else we need to do up here? I don't think so. Let's hop down here. I love that effect. It's so cool. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. Yay! Working on killing a phantom while flying. Yeah, we haven't... I think maybe other people have gone to the end, and I think Silent said he went to the end. I don't know if he actually fought the dragon. But nobody really has a light tree yet, as far as I know. Let me sleep. Don't want to get knocked off this thing by phantoms while I'm upstairs. Your base is at Y200. You got knocked off once, and that's very deadly. Yeah. They look really cool after they changed the textures. Yeah, the work in progress textures for phantoms were a little bit dopey. But I don't think they were ever going to keep them that way, really. Like, I know Mojang has this sort of weird reputation for, like, half-finishing stuff, but I feel like they always had the intention of following through with a better phantom thing. Mini Bubba, thank you for the follow. So let's, yeah, I'm going to have to do a lot of terraforming around this here island, but let's work on getting this. It's got to be like so, just to make it on the same level as everything else here. A beacon of jump boost and slow falling potions. Yeah, basically moon gravity. It'd work really well on either an island on the end, or like if you created a kind of like Mars thing using like a mesa. So this is going to be much the same as this side here, so it shouldn't be too difficult to repeat the pattern. So much negative space inside of here, but don't mind too much. Dead coral would work good. Yeah, no, it totally would. That and endstone. I mean, endstone is meant to look like moon rock anyway, so it's already got that aesthetic pretty much nailed down. It's so weird working with the slow falling effect still being on. Endstone looks cheesy. Well, so does the moon to a lot of people. The gravity, folks, is so strange. Okay, let's pop that there. And I think we're basically good. Nice. Yeah, too much endstone is hard on the eyes. The end is not a particularly hospitable looking place. Slow falling makes the dragon fight easier. Yeah, I think that's basically its primary use, is just like saving you from that much fall damage. There's only a couple of other instances in which slow falling potions are actually useful for anything. I think this is going to work out right. Run out of stairs. Let's make some more stone brick stairs. There we go. Just for the bottom detail of these pillars. Like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's working out. We're only missing one on this side. Like so. And in creative, I'd only done this far over, like just with this pillar here. I hadn't tiled it over any more than this, so we're gonna have to work out like a little interstitial area for that. Otherwise, it's gonna look really odd. Then again, if we just continue this along here and have it just come straight out the other side, repeat that pattern again. Run of trapdoors on the stone brick under the concrete. Like there? Maybe. I'm trying not to make this like my usual style of like over-detailing stuff, so I'm being a little bit more conservative with details like that than I would. Mostly because of the scale we're working on. Because like so much of when you're building stuff like this, it's really tempting to just go like stairs and slabs and trapdoors and stuff everywhere. But I feel like that just distracts from the overall feeling of the build. And that's a trap I've fallen into before that I'm trying to kind of work against my instincts on this time around. So yeah, maybe we'll get to detailing it a little bit later, but I feel like that's why I had the trapdoors behind the windows, if anything, is because that kind of adds to the effect of the window, but it doesn't just mean that the front of the build looks too busy. I don't know. It's something I'm still working on. So maybe every block needs a button. Exactly, like that kind of that over detailed way of building sometimes gets in the way of the overall effect. And yes, bushes are the solution to everything. Gonna have to fill in bits of this. Looks like a turn of the century factory. It's looking a little bit northern, a little bit Manchester, isn't it? It's got that feeling of like it's a disused mill or something. Nope. What are you doing? That just needs cutting off at the top there. To come with orphans to run the place. Just baby villagers. That'd be so weird. Having like a little a factory run by baby villagers. I was talking to Joel Duggan about this actually. We're planning on talking about a couple of things on an episode of the Citadel Cafe. Not Citadel Cafe, freaking the Spawn Chunks. You know, the podcast that we do. That's not the other podcast that he does. And yeah, we're planning on talking about it on the Spawn Chunks. About some of the stuff they've implemented in Quark and like Vanilla Plus style mod packs. This is like far future kind of thing, like not this next episode, but in a future episode. And he was talking about, I don't know if this is a feature in Quark or if he just kind of suggested it himself. The idea of like making aesthetic farms with like baby cows and stuff, and like feeding a poisoned potato to animals prevents them from growing up. Kind of like, and this is the first analogy that sprung to mind for me, is like when you press the button that stops a Pokemon evolving in the DS games or the Game Boy originals. Like it's an odd concept to me, and it seems a little bit cruel in a way to like feed them a poisoned thing, but then it means you get to have like a variety of sizes of cows. What am I building? It's kind of a factory style thing. I'll show you from the front if you just joined us. It's, yeah, factory or warehouse, I guess, is probably the closest thing to it. This whole island is going to be like a complete mix of styles, but that's kind of the idea. This is what it looks like so far. And I'm kind of working on the sides right now. Cow is evolving. Press B to cancel. Exactly, the other kit. It kind of allows you a little bit more control over the look of things if you want to have some cute little baby cows running around forever. The Peter Pan of cows, they never grow up. But yeah, it's an interesting idea to me. Even if it's not necessarily something I would want added to the game permanently. How long did this take? When I was recording the time-lapse for it yesterday, if you want to see this being built in super speed, then check that out on my channel, youtube.com/pixelriffs. But the front part of this took like an hour, I think, total. And that was because I still had to like smelt a bunch of resources and stuff. There's a data pack where you can name mobs baby and they'll stay babies. I suppose so, yeah. You can do a lot of that stuff with data packs now. Like, half of the stuff that's in Quark, you can probably just, like, do with data packs now that they're more heavily implemented. No idea why that was there, but it's gone now. I feel like we're going to get into the are villagers technically animals debate in a second. I think villagers would sort of make more sense if they're, like, Neanderthals. Like, if anybody here has ever read the Thursday Next books by Jasper Fforde, there is like actually a legitimate race of Neanderthals in this kind of like alternate future, alternate history kind of situation where like they're legitimately just an offshoot of what became humans, but they are sort of like the same thing. Like they have their own society and stuff in modern times. But a lot of the stuff in Thursday Next is surreal. And so like it wasn't like a survival of the fittest situation between us and Neanderthals. They just kind of developed differently. They kind of developed along a different path to us, but they still exist in modern society. And there's like a Neanderthal police force where they kind of take care of their own societal issues and stuff. They've got their own jurisdiction. It's really interesting. Chronix, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Pixels. Yeah, I'm a bit of a fan of Biome Bundle. I really liked it when we were playing Minecraft Harmony. Although I have a great affection for default Minecraft terrain because it's the kind of stuff that you have way more control over. Humans are animals, so are villagers too, but if you talk game mechanics, yeah. I guess, yeah, the human animal is something I hadn't really considered in that equation. You know what? We could almost go one more over. But I don't know if I want that. I think I might have like a shorter kind of section poking out the back here. Haven't played Minecraft in ages. Well, you might enjoy the new update then, because a lot of stuff has changed recently. They've like added a bunch of stuff to the game. If you haven't played Minecraft for like a few versions, like the last couple of updates have passed you by, then this is going to feel completely different. It's going to feel a bit like playing modded back in the days of 1.7. Ah. Yeah, Fry, the thing that annoys me about Biomes of Plenty is that for a long time it was the only kind of biome customization mod, and so every server had it, and so every server ended up kind of looking the same. I feel like maybe there's a little bit more scope to it now than there was before, but yeah, for a while it was like, this is the only option you have, so congratulations, your landscape looks like everybody else's landscape. I feel like the biome colors and stuff make everything so distinct that it was even more... It got even more samey looking than vanilla Minecraft did, somehow. You feel free to disagree if you're... you know, if your mileage may vary, I suppose. But it's... yeah, it just got too... like, obvious looking to me. Which is why Biome Bundle was such a breath of fresh air, because... it really did look like it had a ton of variety in it. And just using vanilla blocks as well, without kind of introducing anything too extra. Thursday Next books are awesome and incredibly hard to read if you're not concentrating properly. Yeah, they tend to get that way. Mr. X, thank you for the host. Haven't played it in months, so this looks so cool. Dude, look at the oceans. That's the thing. This is vanilla Minecraft oceans now. Still got plenty of squid. In fact, I'm going to start killing some of these guys because I need ink, and the ink farm isn't ready yet. Come back. Squid are so fast now. Like, they get away from you really quickly. You've really got to chase these guys. Silty dirt. Yeah, I know. There's just a couple of the additions in Biomes of Plenty that you're just like, no, I don't want this. They had loads of really nice trees that were really difficult to cut down. It is really nice having so many different wood types and stuff, but my other problem with modded is you get spoiled for choice. It's one of those things where, like, so often you find, like, the perfect thing to build with, and then it just turns out to either be really difficult to obtain, or you have to go out of your way so far just to find one thing. Whereas in vanilla Minecraft, everything is so basic that you just end up using your imagination for half of it. You're just like, oh, well, this looks kind of like that. I guess it'll do, and then you just kind of leave it there. Are there any new mobs? There's tons. There are turtles, dolphins. There are live fish in the oceans now, so you can't really see any around here because I'm in a cold ocean, but there are like live salmon and stuff and cod just swimming around. You get tropical fish in warm oceans as well. There are drowned zombies now, which kind of just come at you from the ocean floor, and some of them have tridents, and you can get a trident if you're lucky. Chat, help me out. What am I missing? There's a salmon. Look at real fish in a kelp forest in vanilla Minecraft. It's crazy. And yeah, there are an awful lot of tropical fish. Like, there are hundreds of variants of tropical fish. Oh yeah, phantoms. Phantoms are a thing. Was almost forgetting. Also, if you didn't play 1.12, these are polar bears. Were they in 1.11? I think they were 1.11. Them and parrots. But yeah, parrots are in jungles now as well. Recently, a lot of the mobs they've added have just been variants of other existing mobs. Like husks in deserts being like the dried up versions of zombies. Now we have the waterlogged versions of zombies and the drowned. They still have strays that appear in ice biomes. There are now 3,587 fish. You still think of horses as being new? Well, that was what, Minecraft 1.4, 1.5? That was a while ago. Concrete is a thing now, and concrete is awesome. I'm a big fan of concrete. Concrete allows me to build things like this. That guy. I like that guy. Okay, so let's continue building this wall up, I guess. It's either that or start on the same wall the other side. Oh yeah, Enderman in the Nether. That's a thing. That's a thing that'll kill you. Yeah, I feel like horses have been made obsolete several times over at this point. Six, 12, 18, 24, okay. Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of people say there should be more variations on certain mobs, like having pandas in jungles instead of like replacing the polar bear model with like a panda style thing. I like that idea. Don't need this kelp right now. What I do need is glass. Yeah, there we go. And a crafting table. Where did my crafting table go? Did I put that down somewhere? There's one over here. Might as well use that. Oh, and illagers. Illagers are pretty new. Woodland Mansion, guys. Yeah, everyone's favorite. Everyone's favorite axe murderers. There's one over there as well. Convexes. Convexes are a thing. Illagers. Yeah, they're like villagers, but violent. Villagers. Done brown and grizzly bears for forests. Yeah, I think the reason they don't necessarily do stuff like that is they don't know how to make them non-violent, but still embody what a grizzly bear is, and like make sure that kids don't get the wrong idea and decide to go and walk up to a grizzly bear in a forest. Like, I feel like they have this, not like reputation is the wrong word, but they have this almost like, I'm trying to think of the word now and it's completely escaped me. They feel like they have an obligation of sorts to make sure they're not giving kids the wrong idea about stuff. It's like when everybody overreacted to the fact that you could breed parrots with cocoa beans, and they were like, no, chocolate kills parrots, and then they actually made chocolate kill parrots in the game because they didn't want to like end up with a bunch of parents mad because their pet bird had been fed some chocolate that killed it. Because they were like, oh, Polly want a cracker. Like it's the closest thing in Minecraft to a cracker without them adding crackers. And they kind of went, oh, okay, maybe that shouldn't be in the game. And the same reason they didn't make, like everyone was asking them to make dolphins rideable, but then the kind of admittedly kind of jokey line they went with on Twitter was like, no, that's animal cruelty, right? While it would add a lot of fun into the game, like you don't want kids growing up thinking they can just ride a dolphin. Also, dolphins are apparently a little bit violent towards divers and stuff, so there's potential for a lot of bad stuff to happen there, and they don't want to be at the center of that. Minecraft told me I could ride a dolphin, and then it kind of assaulted me. Dolphins are weird, guys. How much could or would I do in terms of detail for a 4-chunk construction, and what theme would it be? I've considered doing 1-chunk tutorials that are basically like a pattern that you can have in a chunk, and then you just rotate it 90 degrees each time, and it comes out as like a, I don't know, like a pagoda or something like that. I've considered doing that a couple of times. And I don't know if I'm going to follow through with that idea, but I kind of like it. It'd be pretty easy to do with the structure blocks as well. Like, that's one of the things I think of whenever I'm building 1-chunk stuff now. Is like, if you structure block this, how easy is it going to be to import? Is it going to import in the right way, the right direction? And I feel like just kind of rotating it around by 90 degrees each time is something you can pretty easily do with structure blocks. So it might be kind of cool to work on something like that in future, but I don't have any immediate plans for it. Then again, now you have prismarine slabs and stairs. Dark prismarine is really great for doing Chinese-style builds and Asian-style builds. Dolphins will cut you. Dolphins are pretty gangster. So right here, instead of... Do I have the... Yeah, I do have the quartz stairs. Good. I thought ahead. We've got, like... Stone brick, stone brick, stone brick. Here. This is where I'm putting the trapdoors. So that's 3 high, and then quartz stairs there. Another row of stone brick there. And then maybe if I just build this up, then we can use that as a starting point here. Hop back down, pop those there and there. That's the wrong height. Oops. That's meant to be like that. So you have a 2x2 in the middle there. Taking so much fall damage. Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, not bad. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, Peter as an organization does tend to get on its high horse an awful lot, except they don't get on the high horse because that's against their values. But yeah, you can see they have a point about certain things, but they do tend to go about it in a very heavy-handed way, in my opinion. And I'm torn between oak trapdoors and dark oak trapdoors there. Because they're, the dark oak trapdoors are solid. They also look like chocolate bars. And the other ones, I don't know, they don't have quite the design I'm after for that little section there. Strip logs. So if we go with these, really does look like squares of chocolate, like a lot. Hey RSMG, I'm good. How are you? We'll need the oak anyway for roof stuffs later. Could try melons as curtains. I'm not sure if this factory is the kind of place that would have curtains. I was a little bit worried about it being too big in terms of the scale and stuff, but for what I want to do on this island, I think it's going to be perfect. I genuinely do think it's going to be perfect. Pixel Riffs in the Chocolate Factory. That would not end the way that movie ended. I feel like if I'm anybody in that story, I'm probably Augustus Gloop. Him or Mike TV. Augustus Liebling, save some for later. Enjoyed the DV video today? Good. Glad you enjoyed it. Here we are working on the same build. Getting the side walls done now that I've gathered a little bit more clay and stuff. Because, gosh, we needed a lot of clay for this build. So, yeah, do we want that? And it also completely depends on what we want to have behind it. But that, in the context of the rest of this build, it doesn't look too bad. On the other hand, we can have this. Which looks a little bit more kind of refined, but I don't know if dark oak is the right choice here. I don't know. Which version of Chocolate Factory? There's only one version, as far as I'm concerned. It's Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory as well. People always seem to kind of call it Charlie and the Chocolate Factory regardless, and I guess that's what the original novel was called, but the Gene Wilder movie has a totally different title. They only made 3 Indiana Jones movies. I feel like Temple of Doom wasn't awful. I haven't actually been back and rewatched Crystal Skull since I saw it in the cinema, and the cinema was alright. It was an entertaining movie. I feel like a lot of the problems people had with that were not the problems I had with it. I will fight you on the Star Wars thing, though. The Force Awakens is probably my favorite of all the Star Wars films. I think we're gonna go with this for now. Unless I decide there's a better block that can go behind there. When do I stream? Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Tuesdays and Thursdays we usually start around 3 p.m. UK time. And then on Sundays we start a little bit later most often, although today we started early. But on Sundays I also do the voiceover for the Hermitcraft recap on YouTube. So yeah, that's going to be taking up a lot of my Sundays usually. This week we did it early because Zloy wanted more time to do the edit. And is apparently doing better for it. He gets more sleep this way. So with this, we want to have that. And then that. Oh wait, no, that's higher. It needs to be up there. Because then it comes down like so. It's just a little bit of stair detailing here. Just something to kind of frame the windows a little bit. It's Steve. I was probably writing Alt F4 jokes before you were born, so do not test me. Any hints on what's in Hermitcraft recap this week? Hermitcraft, what else would we put in it? Doc striking things with lightning, mostly. Also, we start our own game of tag, which I'm very excited about, and I hope you guys will participate. Do I always do this world? Not always. I've got a couple of other projects on the go right now. I also have a Patreon server that we stream from occasionally. Did Alt F4 jokes when it was the reset key on the Apple II. I can't remember if we had Apple IIs in school. We definitely had some form of Apple computer, but it was like the first kind of educational developed computer that I'd ever seen. At the time, we had an Amstrad computer, one of those kind of like black and green screens. So good. Green text. Full on like the aesthetic the Matrix was going for. They managed to catch Tango's stalking prey. I'm not sure what that means. I also don't watch Tango for the recaps. Lloyd does, so I'm not up to date with what Tango's been doing, except in what Zloy wrote in the script. And sometimes, you know how occasionally if you're just reading a script or something like that, you don't necessarily take in all of the meaning of the words. You just kind of read what's in front of you and you don't like absorb the information. I feel like that's how I am with recaps sometimes. Like in theory, I should know what every single hermit is doing, but in reality, I kind of forget what I've said about some of them. Zloy could write anything. I'm like Ron Burgundy. I'll just read whatever's on the teleprompter. Words on, brain off. Yeah, pretty much. You remember the ZX Spectrum computers? I think one of my friends when I was a kid had one of those, or like an Amiga, or an Atari, or one of the really, really old things that you could load really basic games on. I remember playing Dizzyland on something, or maybe it was a Commodore 64 or something. I forget. I don't remember a huge amount of them. But the only like home computer thing we ever had was an Amstrad. My dad used to code little like games on it in Visual Basic, and he was trying to teach me to do that as well for a while. Yeah, Paranor is familiar with all variations of computer that require punch cards. Or tape. You know when you see movies that are kind of set in a certain era, and like all of the computers are just like machines that have giant reel-to-reel kind of tape things in them. It's always so fun. Like when is it The Italian Job, like the Michael Caine Italian Job, where he goes to stop the kind of traffic computer that controls all the lights in, is it Turin that they're doing the bank job at? And yeah, like it's just a room full of these giant, like what look like huge tape recorders, like a huge Sony Walkman, basically. And at the time, I'm like, I don't know what that is. Like, that's supposed to be a computer? Okay, I'll buy it. This week on Hermitcraft, bow down to our overlords, Lloyd the Great. That's basically every week in the recap anyway. It doesn't it doesn't have to be something that he's typed that week. That's just the status quo as far as recap is concerned. I kid, of course. Or do I? We make the jokes about Zloy being the one in the basement. Really, it's me, he says, on the first floor of his house. Oh, I can't quite reach. Okay, we'll bridge across instead. And hop. We need a row across the top there. We need a row, I think 1, 2, 3 here and here. There it is. And how many hours we both put into one recap episode, including watching all the Hermits? Upwards of 20, I'd say, at this point. That's in completely the wrong place. Yeah, like, we watch all of the Hermitcraft videos basically at double speed. Including now some of the ones who normally I didn't watch at double speed. I watched them at like maybe 1.5 or 1.25 because it's difficult to understand them at higher speeds. But now I've started putting subtitles on the videos, so it makes it better to understand what they're doing. Also, we're less looking for like funny moments in the videos and more just looking at what they do. So it's a little bit easier to keep track of some of that stuff now. But yeah, like actually watching Hermitcraft right now requires a huge amount of time investment each week because of the sheer number of videos and the length of some of the videos as well. Like there are some Hermits who will produce like a 20-minute episode and that'll be it. And then there's Doc M, whose every video of his has been like longer than 40 minutes as far as I can see. And that's okay. Like it's the way he chooses to make videos, and it's great for his audience. Like his audience eats it up. But yeah, Doc has been going crazy with some of the episode lengths. And there's sometimes like Mumbo will put out like an hour-long episode, all of which I have to watch, which is fine, but I've got to be concentrating on the whole thing, so I can't always just have it on in the background because then I'll miss something that I needed to take notes on. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that is good. We do need to make more stairs. All right, have fun at the gym. And then there's Ren. Yeah, Ren's been doing some longer episodes as well. And there's definitely a few people who keep things a little shorter. And then some people just do marathon episodes at certain points anyway. But then the process of writing the script usually takes 3 to 4 hours, like minimum, really. Especially right now. That's mostly because we're dawdling around and like chatting and stuff beforehand, but it really doesn't, it's not an easy or quick process for us. Don't I have a full-time job? I have a part-time job. So YouTube and streaming is my other part-time job, basically. Like I'm essentially working 2 jobs, one of which is content creation and the other of which is I do tech support and video production for a software company. But I do that 20 hours a week, and then the rest of the time is my own to do stuff like this. And I didn't bring any stone brick with me. I'll put cobblestone there for now. Remind me to replace that, though. Caught me on several Hermit streams as well. Yeah, occasionally I'll pop in when I can. Yeah, it totally depends who it is, when it is, and whether or not I'm behind on watching my recap videos for that week. But I like to pop in occasionally and say hi, because usually people in the chat are like, oh, hey, it's Pixel Riffs, and it's kind of nice to be recognized in that way, but also it's nice to see what the Hermits are up to the rest of the time. I'll put them on in the background. What we're building, this is a factory/warehouse kind of thing at my base here on the decidedly vanilla server. It looks like this. We built the whole thing in survival, although I drafted it in creative first. And yeah, right now it's coming along. It's a lot of bricks. But I think I still have some bricks cooking in the furnaces over there, and I still have, yeah, a stack and change in here, so... The factory is going to be... it started off as, like, I'm going to make this a cactus farm. And then was like, I will not need this amount of cactus. Like, this is too big for a cactus farm. So it's going to be a cactus farm, probably pumpkin and melon farms in there as well, maybe some villager crop-based things. and whatever else I feel like producing in there. It might just end up being a dye factory with the exception of the squid farm kind of thing, because the squid farm is going to be way further out, and I've already started working on that. But yeah, if it produces like green dye from the cacti, then it's also going to be kind of nice to have a few other dye things in there. And to be honest, to make a dye farm, all you really need is cactus, squid, those flowers, and like you find some lapis. That's basically it. A kelp farm would be possible as well. Yeah, it could be a little station in here. Ultimately, the factory floor is going to be large enough that we'll be able to do whatever we want in here. So once the outside is done and it looks good from externally, then inside the factory is going to be a whole bunch of other stuff. And I keep calling it a factory. Like, it didn't start life as a factory kind of build, but the more I build this, the more I'm like, yeah, this looks kind of industrial and turn of the century, and it will be there. The polar bear shouldn't be there, at least not without a construction helmet. He's the town planner. He's Umberto the town planner. He decided where this should be built, and he is essentially overseeing the entire process. But don't worry, I'm keeping away from any falling debris. So he's fine. Do a mumbo, build 4 of them on all the corners of the island, and then never use the cacti. Apply a sterile bandage to the burn. Yeah, we're probably going to make use of the cactus. If anything, I want to make a bunch of cyan stuff. Like, I don't really build a whole lot with green, like dark green, and as I pointed out previously, lime green can now be harvested in the form of sea pickles, which are a lot easier to farm than cactus. You just spam bone meal. But yeah, you can make a lot of cyan between a decent supply of lapis and some cactus green. So I will end up... I love building with cyan stuff. Like, cyan stained clay was always the best thing back in the day. And now that you have concrete and other colors that are super nice gray colors, then cyan concrete powder is really nice. Did a lot of building with that on the last season of DV, and I don't intend to stop there. Let me turn these guys into bricks. Again, like, so few bricks out of that amount of clay we've smelted right there. And I need more smooth stone is what I need, because I am running very low on stone bricks over there at the build. So that's 4 stacks. I might even need to go and do some more mining with Silk Touch and get some more smooth stone before the before this build is complete, so that we can actually finish it all off. But I'm pretty happy with it so far. Il Mango's Sea Pickle Farm video is hilarious. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Yeah, you really don't need a cactus farm for lime green anymore. Loving the Survival Guide series. Thank you. It's always really great to get compliments on that series from people who already know how to play Minecraft. People who are just like, you know, I don't care that I've played this game since it came out. I'm just really enjoying the series. Just enjoying somebody starting from scratch and kind of... One of the weird things about human nature and the human brain is how pleasing it is to us to hear somebody describe in detail something we already know. It's like it's the reason the Hermitcraft recap is so popular among viewers of like Mumbo and Grian, even though anybody who is a fan of Mumbo and Grian has probably already watched their videos anyway. Is they just want to hear people talk about the stuff that they like. So yeah, it's odd that the human brain is wired like that, where they're like, oh, this person gets it. Like, I feel like it's the identification with it that people are attached to, and it's great that people are getting that from the Survival Guide series. I'm happy with it. The Equinox, we are working on a kind of factory warehouse style build here on the decidedly vanilla server on my personal Mushroom Island base. There's going to be a whole variety of styles of like large scale builds here, including that's a sugarcane farm. This is going to be a building with cacti and stuff like that. Quote-unquote factory is the idea, yes. Oh. Miss Piggy just joined the game. Always nice to have one of the Muppets visiting. That's Pigglesworth's camera account. And I think we need to have that come out there, and then this side, yeah. That's how we're going to do it. These pillars on the corners are slightly out of joint from the rest of it, I think. Looks really cool, thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with this design. It went through a couple of different iterations in Creative before I got one that I was happy with. But yeah, if you see my latest video on my YouTube channel, where I kind of talk about why this build is happening in the first place, then yeah, you can see some of the other variations I tried out before I settled on this one. But I'm really happy with this one. Wait a second. What are we doing? This way. That's what we're doing. Like, well, that didn't work out, did it? And it's still facing the wrong way. And I used dirt to pillar up. What an idiot. Looks like Pigglesworth thought better of that idea. Give me the torch back. I need that torch for pillaring. So yeah, we're probably going to do another, 5 minutes of this, and then at some point my wife and I are probably going to play some Stardew Valley. Because that just came out and it's full release. And we played a whole bunch of the multiplayer beta. I mean, the Stardew Valley full release has been out for a while. Like, the multiplayer update came out for its full release. And so, yeah, we kind of wanted to hop back on the Stardew Valley. Have a bit of fun with that. We were going to do it yesterday, but then we ended up doing the Hermitcraft recap script yesterday instead. Which ended up with, yeah, a lot more free time today, basically. You're in a ravine. Every time you fall and take damage, it's a creeper. I think it's a creeper dropping behind you. Yeah, apologies for startling anybody. It's always quite funny when you're in the Nether on a stream and somebody else is like working in the overworld or somewhere like that, and then a ghast noise happens on your stream and they're like, "What? Where?" I enjoy that. Occasionally scaring people. So I think we just need to pillar that up and then, yeah. I'm not letting any brick blocks get away if I can possibly help it as well, because these things are the result of quite a lot of gathering and effort at this point. Okay, Paran, I'll catch you later. Thanks for stopping by today's stream. Hope you have yourself a lovely weekend. I think that'll do for this section for now. I don't think we're going to get any more done. If I start to do any more, then we're not going to get any of it complete before we start the Stardew portion of the stream. So there we go. You're working in the Nether whilst watching one of the streams and that exact thing happened. It does happen. It happens quite frequently. I tell you, one other thing that's really nice about building on a mushroom island is not having to worry about mobs when you're building something this big. So yeah, we're going to have more of these kind of stone outcropping kind of things around the tops there. And then it just continues up into a brick roof with windows in the top the way that one up there does. There is one sort of closed off panel. Oh, I thought a turtle had somehow made it into the boat. Like I looked at that from a distance and I was like, oh, there's a turtle. Nope, just the boat is halfway through a grass block. A grass block. Can't speak today. Phantoms do still show up, yes. Drowned don't come at you when you're on land, generally, except at nighttime, and I haven't really seen any drowns spawning in the ocean around here. I think they're all sort of further out in, like, the deep oceans, and occasionally in rivers. But, yeah, for the most part, if I'm just up here on land, they don't take an interest. I think I'm too far inland for them to see me, but they don't attack you during the day unless you're in water, so... But yeah, phantoms do come out at night if I don't sleep, which is fine by me. I'll collect the phantom membrane all day. I got a phantom head as well. Like I'm pretty set for that stuff. Got another 2 stacks of bricks. We've got more clay coming here. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I think we should have enough bricks to last us for at least the next couple of sections of this build now. Depending on how much brick we use on the back walls over here, I don't think it'll be terrible. So yeah, that should do. That should do it. All right, folks. I am going to take a very short break. Going to come out of Minecraft now, grab myself probably a cup of tea, and see if the wife wants to do some Stardew Valley streaming. So bear with me, folks. The stream will resume shortly. In the meantime, enjoy the music. Hello! How are we doing, ladies and gents? Hope you're all having a good one. Hey, it's me, the Hermitcraft Recap guy. Hey, it's you, the Hermitcraft Recap audience. Everybody else grabbing themselves a cup of tea as well. Good to hear. Good to hear. So, I am going to briefly stop the stream just so we can kind of split up the VODs between the stream we just did and the Stardew Valley thing, so I can upload them separately to my VODs channel. Yeah, don't go anywhere. I will be right back. I'm going to reload the other games, and then Mrs. Rifts is finishing up one of her writing exercises for the day, and then she's going to be joining us in just a few minutes. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a couple of seconds once I've quit this game and reloaded. See you in a second.